You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's The Young and the Restless After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The Young and the Restless After Show.
Hello, 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 America. What is happening out there, world? Are you did everybody miss me? I know y'all missed me a little bit because, you know, we did the Oscar event last week, so I'm just letting everyone know I am back. And everybody, I just want to let you know really quick, Bing is for doing, and we're here at another AfterBuzz TV station, here live in the house with some amazing guests, and I'm, of course, your host, yours truly, Brookshire, in his house. Did I get some hand claps going on? Did I feel some, did I get, okay, I appreciate it. There you go. I appreciate you, brother. And cut. All right. And we also have in the house, always, like we always do, lovely, back in the building. Well, not necessarily in the building, but on the phone lines, my Granny Z. What's going on, Granny Z? How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you all out there?
We are doing so good. It is so good to hear your voice. It's been quite a little bit of time since we've last talked to you, and you kind of joined in. So where you been? How you been? I know you're doing some Black History Month things. You doing good, Granny Z?
Doing good, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, you keeping that skin looking flawless, because, you know, I know that yellow skin, you know, in that cold weather. You using the cocoa, brother, that Crisco, like they said on the help. You know, you got them feet. Use yourself some Crisco. Little olive oil. You gotta make it work. And like we always do, in the booth, keeping us sounding amazing, looking amazing, of course, we got my boy, my main man, DJ Ronnie.
Hello, Brooks. I'm excited about your special guest, dude. This is great.
I know. We are so excited.
Sweet lady right there, yeah.
Dude, we are making history today, and I'm just so happy that I have my hands. You know, that has been one of the themes that, and I think I feel it. I feel my help coming on now. We are making history right now, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. And so, without any further ado, we just want to bring to you in the house, you know, this lovely lady that is, you know, the reason why we're here and making history. We have from the bold and the beautiful. Now, this is a soap edition, everybody, just so y'all know, okay? We had the wire in our recaps, but this is a soap special edition. So if you see that to the bottom of the page, we're doing things a little bit different. When you see here, every once in a while, you're going to see people that come on from the soaps from all over the place, because as you know, soaps are changing. A lot of the ones that were on from a long time ago are not on anymore. So a lot of the stars are, migrating to different soap operas. However, The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful have the same writers and creators. Of course, these same writers and creators wrote for a lot of the other top shows that you know, The World As the World Turned, Guiding Light, etc. So you will see the family, which is what we like to call the family of the stars, coming on and sprinkling in to give you their wisdom, their knowledge, and also some of the behind the scenes, you know, meat of things, you know. Ooh, I can't wait. But yes. So without any further ado, I would love to bring in this most beautiful lady in the house. We have Kristolyn Lloyd.
Thank you. That was so nice.
Wow, look at that gorgeous smile. That's what, hey, see, I be wondering, like, I be putting all the pieces together, like, okay, you got a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and oh, that's why she representing. It's them pearlies.
The pearly whites, the pearly whites.
Them pearly whites and that pretty skin, I tell you.
You.
You know, and that really helps because, you know, in this industry, they say, you know, people judge you in the first 3 seconds. You know, you have to either, in this business, you either need to get the job or leave an impression. And obviously, you've gotten and kept moving along. So, you know, we're really wants to get to know you and really getting the meat of things. And, you know, we want to just highlight just all the beautifulness on the inside and of course what we see on the outside. So we just want to take you straight into first, where are you from? You know, like how did you, what led you to being here? Like, tell me your start.
I grew up in a small suburb outside of Houston.
Okay.
Called,
wow.
Called Spring.
Okay. I have a friend in Houston.
Really?
Yes, one of my homies. He's a stylist. Shout out to Sherman G and the Sherman G Foundation. Houston, big ups. That's what's up.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I didn't grow up in the city. I begged my parents. I was like, please send me to a multicultural school. I was like, I want to grow up with black people.
Okay.
And my mom was like, you are growing up with black people.
Like,
we're black.
hello. Hello.
So yeah, I grew up right outside and just decided to start acting in high school.
Oh, wow.
Right after, because I could not make one of the sports teams to save my life.
What?
Like, I could not make the basketball team or the volleyball team. I did track and I was a swimmer.
So you did track. Now wait a second.
Oh,
now
that's
that's tough. You
It's
know,
hard, yeah.
Both track and swimming. Now, what did you do in track?
I was a 300-meter hurdler.
Okay, now did you win or did you come in second place?
Yes.
You were the first.
I was a state qualifier. I was a freshman on varsity.
Right. Oh.
Yeah, and so sophomore year, the coach started hinting about scholarships. And I was like, wait, you mean I got to keep doing this for a long time?
Right.
Oh, like, I'm kind of tired.
So now, did you start acting when you were in you say you started acting when you were in high school, or was it?
In high school, yeah. Well, my parents put me in a public theater, and I did this musical called Grease, and I hated it. I was like, I am never being an actress. These people are so overdramatic. And then my brother, who was an actor at my high school, went to school for acting at TCU. Okay. They invited him back to choreograph some of the musicals at my high school. Oh, wow. And he said, hey, why don't you audition, then we can hang out. And I was like, well, we'll see. So I did. I auditioned, and then I just stuck. I just loved it.
Okay, so now, you just auditioned. Now, everybody just don't audition. Now, did you? I just auditioned, I know there was some, now everybody need to know, because that was a pivotal moment, because look at what it has put you. And again, we talking about, the aha moment. We're making history here, because again, if you don't know, and I've done my research, I love the Bold and the Beautiful, dedicated watcher. Now I'm in and out because Brooke Logan has done some very unique things. And it's kind of, I'm like, Lord, okay, I've just had enough. I cannot take this in just too much now. But then her cousins and then her sisters and brothers and her third, fourth generations come in, and I'm just like, Lord.
That's what keeps us looking.
That's what keeps us watching.
Man. So yes, and so I definitely want to just, go into, of course, you just making history. So that's definitely a big point. So you get into the acting situation before your brother says, come join this. Were you not nervous? Were you
I was like a pretty extroverted kid. I mean, you really couldn't get me to shut up. So the idea of being on stage and everyone looking at me while I got to talk was kind of enticing. So I did. Like, I auditioned for a play to kind of warm me up before before they did the musical, and I got ensemble, and I missed my cue every night. I missed my cue every night at the performance. And then when I auditioned for the musical,
how old were you and what grade?
I was 9th grade. Yes, I was 9th grade.
So fresh into high school, 9th grade, you tried out for your first musical.
Tried out for my first play.
Okay, and what was the name of the play?
Three Musketeers.
Wow.
I wanted to sword fight. When they told me I could have swords and like fight on stage, I was like, I'm down.
I'm down. I'm definitely down. Yeah. Okay, so now that propelled you to where you are now. So now, when did you know when you were on that stage? When did you know? When did you get the bug? Like, I
think it was probably I want to say my junior year. I got cast as the lead in the musical Anything Goes.
Oh, wow.
And that was kind of amazing. It was just really fun. And then my senior year, I played Hamlet. And to be like a girl auditioning with a bunch of really talented guys, at a pretty large high school. Wow. And to be cast as the lead role as a male, I was like, this is pretty awesome.
You were a lead, you played a male?
I played a man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, now that's...
You look at me and you're like, I don't think so.
No, but see, I know that even on the Oscars, I'm not for sure, I don't remember the exact movie, but one of the... she played a man in that movie, which of course she looks nothing like one, but she was able to get into that particular character, and I think those are some of the roles that are most important, because that is what I feel acting is all about, when you can become something else that's not you. So that is awesome. So really quick, just not to go too deep in there, as a senior in high school, how did you develop and go into that character to be a lead in that play?
I had a really great theater director at my high school. She's pretty amazing, and she cultivated other talents like Matt Bomer, who's on White Collar.
Oh, wow.
And so she really knew acting, which was really rare, you know, and it was a competition play. And so I remember she sat down with me and we mapped out like the arc of Hamlet.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, by the time I got to school at college, you know, conservatory where they're talking about character arcs, I already knew what all that was.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I knew what script work was. I knew how to find out your objectives and tactics and obstacles and stuff like that.
That's very interesting. When I was in high school, I did the Music Man, and I kind of got the acting buzz for that too, you know? So
she remembers.
You know, and everybody came and was just like, oh my God, she actually got something. I'm just like, really? Because it just, you know, it just seemed like another step into just being creative. So it's interesting that you say that, because when you went off to college, you also studied theater.
I studied acting and musical theater.
Was it what you expected? Because I started off with acting in music theaters, and we had to learn set designs and all the things that I didn't even
care.
You hate
to say that, but you don't care.
You're like, oh God, you got to do what? Storyboard how?
I don't.
Draw what?
I don't care.
Can we get to the lines and the scripts, please? How did you make it through?
You know, I went to Carnegie Mellon, which is one of the #1 schools for acting and musical theater.
Okay.
And I ended up getting a full scholarship. So I was like, okay, I got to see this through.
That's awesome.
That for me was kind of divine in a sense. The idea that I got into one of the top schools. My dad was unemployed at the time. My mom was a teacher. Like, there was no way I could have afforded that school.
Wow.
So to get a full scholarship was a sign for me. And so I said, you know what, I got to stick it through. And so it was tough because I didn't even get in as a musical theater major. But that's like what I started booking when I got out to LA was musicals.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Like I did Hollywood Bowl. I've done Hollywood Bowl 2 years in a row, and I worked with Billy Porter and Lettucey in a musical called Once on This Island.
Oh, wow.
That was my first big gig. So to not get accepted into musical theater, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't have come here. And then you know, I think it was just God. Like some of the teachers just really believed in me, and they said, we're going to give you free voice lessons. We're going to allow you to take musical. Yeah, we're going to allow you to take the classes with the musical theater majors. And by the time I graduated, I was able to showcase myself as a musical theater and an acting student.
That is awesome. So I know I was looking, and I know, of course, we saw you in acting as I was doing my homework. You know, I saw you on this one stage, and I'm like, what's she about to do? Cite a poem?
Oh, no.
You know,
what was I doing?
You know, when I was on YouTube looking, and I was like, you started singing, and I was just like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, she actually has a voice. So now, is when you get on and you I saw one of you had this little cat thing on, you were walking across the table like, you know. Do you do something like a Sasha Fierce, like a Beyonce? Do you change into someone else?
It depends on what they're asking me to do. The show you're probably talking about is the one that I'm performing in actually tonight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you performing at tonight?
I perform at this great venue called Show Up Bar. It's at Vermont and Los Feliz.
Show Up Bar in Los Feliz. Okay, everybody, if you are in the area, just a quick commercial plug. We got Miss Lloyd in the house from Bold and the Beautiful at the Show Up Bar.
Yes, Show Up Bar.
So show up. What time?
I'm on every Sunday in the month of March at 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Every Sunday in the month of March. So what do you do? Like, exactly, is this like a cabaret kind of thing?
It's a concert. They pride themselves in being a concert with great singers, and that's really what it is. But because we do tributes to different directors like Baz Luhrmann, Quentin Tarantino, the Coen brothers,
so you're
John
doing
Hughes,
scores.
We do scores from their soundtracks.
From their soundtracks. Oh,
and then we throw in like, you know, we've gotten more. We're throwing in scenes, and so now they're taking the Tarantino show to South by Southwest in Austin.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's gotten a lot of, you know, momentum, which is great. But we, you know, that's essentially what we're doing when we get on stage. We're singing the music from
the movies,
from the soundtracks.
So how did you run up on that opportunity? Because that's very interesting. Yeah. You work a full daytime job, and then you got a Sunday gig.
I know.
The woman works. So we gonna go until you work, because I know you had like 4 jobs before all this happened.
I did.
So but we're gonna reach back to that. But tell us, how did you bump onto this experience? Because that's amazing.
Well, the producer is friends with one of my classmates. Well,
okay.
I think they're together. They're actually dating.
Oh, wow.
And so when I first moved to LA, he was like, oh, you're from Carnegie. Come sing at my show. And so back then it was just a cabaret where like Shoshana Bean would perform and Laura Bell Bundy. I mean, just people from Broadway. So we'd get up there and we'd sing, and then it started to evolve more into this concert series, which is what they originally wanted. Okay. And so when I got back and started doing, you know, I got back to LA probably in 2010, I showed up and I was looking at their shows and I was like, I'd love to, get involved in this because I wasn't doing Bold and Beautiful at that time.
Right.
So yeah, I just kind of
just happened.
Just happened.
And so, with working a full-time job now, I know, these schedules, and we're going to get into that because there's so many preconceived notions that we're going to go into a little bit later about how the schedule works. Is you're on every day, because, one day lasts about a whole week and a half.
Gosh,
so it's like, do they wash and change their clothes? Are they funky or something? They brush their teeth? Like, do they get the, So we're going to get into that too. But 4 jobs. Okay. Yeah. I'm a workaholic now. When I lived in New York, I turned in one time almost 15 W-2s one year. You feel me? Yes. It's like you make it work. So I know that you are a hustler also, and and we're not necessarily a hustler, but you make things happen, and you're a vision. You're a creative person. You have vision. Yeah. So how, with working 4 jobs, how were you able to maintain and still do these auditions? How did you work that out?
I have to say, I just got really blessed when I got out here. I signed with an agency before I even moved to LA.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So the auditions were coming on pretty fast. And
that's good.
At high volume, which was great.
That's awesome.
But the money wasn't. Because you don't book right away. At least some people don't.
Right.
And so that's when I started needing to pick up part-time jobs that I could leave and go audition and then come back.
Right.
So that led me to getting multiple jobs a day. So I literally wake up, teach from 7 to 9 in the morning, and then I'd race over to a YMCA where I worked as a lifeguard. I'd do a lifeguarding shift for 4 hours, and then I would get I'd change my shirt and sit at the front desk for another 2 hours. I would change my shirt and go into a classroom and teach kids classes for another 2 hours.
Oh wow!
Change my clothes again and drive all the way to Hollywood and Highland and close American Eagle.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
in between there, I'd be like, I have an audition. I have to leave for 30 minutes. And
then you have a life.
And then
did you have a life?
Not for a while, honey.
Yeah. When did you find? When did you feel like you found your life? With all of that,
I have to say, I got really burnt out, obviously.
Okay, right, yeah, you're hustling. You doing, you go, I take this shirt off. Did you put on the same shirt by accident ever?
I did show up at a job and they were like, you were already here today. And I'm like, oh, I didn't. They're like, Kristolyn, you already taught. I was like, kidding. But
I'm working.
In 2009, things really picked up, and I booked, the show with Lettucey and Billy Porter.
Okay.
And I booked a couple more things into 2010.
Right.
And then, no, I'm sorry, that was 2008. I did the show with Lettucey. 2009 came along, and I did a show with Otis Salid and Loretta Devine.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, man, I really feel like I should be doing something else. Isn't that frightening for an actor? But like, you're kind of like, I think I should be doing something else.
It's not frightening because we're always wanting to grow from one level to the next, especially once you've already accomplished what you feel that you went for there.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're a creative being.
Yeah. So I applied to this program called Youth with a Mission and got accepted.
Oh, wow.
And I raised about $10,000 in probably 2 months.
Doing what?
To go do missionary work. So
Okay, so
Brooks, this struck a chord with me. This is what her and I were talking about prior to the interview, and it's like this experience right here may be what gave her all the success. I mean,
because you sowed that seed, and nothing from nothing is you had to put something in to get something out, no matter what. People just think it just happens, and they don't realize what you've put in just different places in the universe for opportunity to present itself for you to be making history on The Bold and the Beautiful. Because again, we said we ain't see no color on with no long hair on there. And almost since 1986.
Wow.
I didn't see none now. Maybe I missed over it, but none that color. This beautiful chocolate color. Yes, so definitely missionary work, you raise money. Okay. That is deep to want to go to another country to go and help bring a message, a word, or any type of anything, and you be on that platform. When did that develop in you?
I remember I was sitting down listening to, there's this rap artist, and his name is Lecrae, and he had this song called Don't Want to Waste My Life, and I was like, listening to it, and I was like, I don't want to, like, I'm young, I'm single, I don't have kids, like, what am I doing just like confining myself to this one career? Not that it's not amazing, but I was like, what if this ends? What if this isn't it for me? Like, what if I'm meant to do more? And so, and you know, I have such a deep love for God and people, and so the idea of serving for a whole year, I was like, that would be so hard, and I want to try it.
That is great. You know, they say you can tell when somebody got what it takes whenever they're able to grow more beautiful through the trials or tribulations, or they look at adversity and say, bring it on. Because I know when you come, I grow. You know, because if I can conquer you, you know, you can't get any bigger, but I can overcome it as long as I decide to say, hey, it's possible also. So you said it was possible. You actually raised $10,000.
It was quite the experience because my and I love my parents. They were so torn. My mom said, if you do this, I will not support you when you get back.
Are you kidding me?
She was terrified because I'm about to go trek the jungles of Indonesia. She's like, you have a career, like you're young and there's so many possibilities. And so, and of course my dad, he's just like, I think he kind of lived vicariously through me in that moment and was like, go for it, you know? So actually my family didn't help until way later. I raised all that money through my church at home, my church here, and then friends. Like I literally had a friend who was a teacher. A teacher. She sent me a check for $1,000.
Wow.
I was like, where did you get this money?
Right. Oh, am I going to see something on the news, girl? Shh, don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
Wow. So that has to be tough because, you know, I even know from just the adventures of any starting new business, especially like a network marketing, any type of when you go to your family, sometimes they don't get it because you know, whatever. You owe Kristolyn, you owe, you know, this is who you, they Bookie, or whatever it is, little sugar mama, or whatever it is. You know, and so sometimes they don't catch on until later on. How did you stay focused? Because that's tough not having that support when you feel you're doing something that is God's put in you and they don't understand.
I think because I knew my brother once said this. He was like, look, you're going to do whatever you want to do no matter what I tell you.
Right.
And so that's just kind of how I've always been. Like if I said I want to shave my head, my family's like, don't do it. But deep down they know I'm going to do it if I want to do it.
Wow. Right.
And so and like I said, I have a love for God, and I just felt this overwhelming peace about what I was about to do.
Wow.
And, you know, my agency just incredibly was like, go for it.
Go for it.
I was like, really? They were like, this kind of stuff is what makes actors actors. And they're like, we're not in the business of just mass marketing you. We want to see you grow and become a better actor through who you are as a person.
Right.
So that's rare.
It's crazy because there's probably other actors and actresses who battle that same thing. They know there's a fulfillment. You talked about it. I'm an actress. I should be loving everything, but there's something else.
There's something else.
I'm curious to know how many other actresses and actors probably deal with that exact thing, except you went through with it, which is very commendable.
And that is awesome because so many people try to fill it with someone. You know, they want to have a baby. They want to have some person in their life. They feel like that somebody's going to bring them something. But sometimes it's all about what you can go out there and fulfill, not what can somebody bring you to fulfill. It's what can you give, because law of attraction, you got to put it out to get it back. You know, everything is a seed, and a seed will produce a harvest. And so I love it because this brings you straight into, you went out there.
I went out there.
Captive, let's hear this experience. Now, you've never been before. Did you do research? Now, I know you said you raised some money. What research did you do, and did you second doubt it ever?
That's the best part about this program that I went with, is they prepare you. So I spent the first 3 months in lecture.
Oh, wow.
So you spend time in lecture because you have, you know, especially since it's
you have to know what's expected.
You have to know what's expected, and especially since it's a Christian organization, they're like, look, we are all about resurrecting people and like spreading love. But we cannot send you out there if you don't know why you believe what you believe.
Whoa.
So that's
deep.
We did like a full week of Genesis to Revelations. We basically did like seminary packed into 4 weeks. We did lectures. It was like heart surgery. Like we had a whole week where it was like heart surgery. They called it a week of like just getting to know your heart,
renewing your mind,
and just understanding like why you do the things that you do. It was like therapy. So, you know, they want to send like emotionally stable and like intelligent, you know, theologically aware and socially aware people over there. And so they prepared us with the language and the food and the cultures, because we went to Bangkok, Thailand, Kuching, Malaysia, and then I went to the jungles of Borneo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Now,
Well, maybe that's why you play your part so good on the Bold and the Beautiful.
Of course, all that
that
character,
ties in very well.
all that character that was built.
That character, yeah.
Right. So we never think something is always what it seems, or sometimes we may think it's more than what it seems because we don't know, and sometimes that holds us back from going in. So you're doing all this word, you're getting all this in you because you don't know what to expect. Now, is a fear building up at the other end because you're like, oh my God, am I going to go, you know, what am I going into?
Well, you're going into countries essentially like, you know, and I think it's in Malaysia, you're not allowed to convert from Islam to any other. It's against the law.
Oh, wow.
Essentially. And so, and then there's some countries where it's just the atmosphere is heated. There's a lot of tension. And they actually prepare you about missionaries who have died in the field.
Wow.
And so, of course, you're sitting there like, what?
Ooh. You say
I'm
what
sorry,
now?
What? I'm sorry, what?
Please read clause on 54B.
Can we rewind? So that fear built up a little bit, but I think for me it was just too exciting. Like, and you're going, like, I went with a group of 6 people. We had 12 of us in the school. Okay. And then 6 of us went, you know, one place, and then 6 of us went another place. So I had people that we were kind of growing and doing this all together. Okay. And I had leaders who, you know, went out there with us and had done it before, and, you know, were taking us along and making sure we knew where we were supposed to be, helping to manage our money. So, yeah.
That is awesome. So everybody, really quick, we're going to take you to just a quick commercial plug. We are still here at the AfterBuzz Studios. I'm your host, Brookshire. We are on a soap special edition with Kristolyn Lloyd here from Bold and the Beautiful. Of course, we're making history right now, today. We also want just to do a quick representation of, you know, check out any of these recaps also on love923.com. That's LOV923.com. And also check out Hard 8. And as you know, I'm definitely rocking your style of Hard 8 right now. So thank you to Victor at Hard 8. So check out hard8.com, everybody, for some of the most vintage clothing that you can ever do. They are a manufacturer right here in the LA area, so definitely support our home base right here, and they make amazing clothes. So if you have any ideas, definitely check out hard8.com. You can shop online for that. So we're gonna go straight back into what we do, and we still have Miss Kristolyn in the house. So real quick, we want to just move into this opportunity that presented itself just going into the Bold and the Beautiful. Now, tell me, what were you doing before this opportunity took place? How did you find out about the audition? I want to know this part.
So after coming back from missions, I was really inspired to continue doing that kind of service. So I spent the next 8 months from January until I think it was September doing volunteer work in Skid Row every Saturday.
Wow. Now, did you say you're single?
I'm single.
Grandma? Granny Z? Did she seem like somebody can come in the family? She my mom.
She's been focused on her character on the Bold and the Beautiful.
She my mama color.
Busy now.
She my mama color. No, okay, that's.
It'll make me blush.
So now you come back. So you started doing things at Skid Row, and then what happened?
And then I did the show at the Hollywood Bowl, and my agent was like, hey, there's this audition coming up for the soap opera.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I was like, honey, they ain't gonna put me on no soap opera. I said, that's cute. Yeah, let's go in and do it.
Is that really how you?
Yes.
Those are usually the ones that get it too.
Those were my exact words. I was out of town in Phoenix, like at some resort, and they sent me on, you know, I printed it out in my room, and I was like, you know what? Let me just do it, because that'll be cute. I'll go in and be cute.
Right. Now, I heard that this character didn't start off the way that it was portrayed. It was this totally different person. So you go into the audition. Now, we're going to go into when you switched it. I just want to throw that out there. But you go in the audition. What happens? I go in,
and Christy Dooley is the casting director. And she, you know, I had prepared this.
Right.
And I'm from Carnegie Mellon.
Right.
So there's a lot of pride right now. I'm like, I already know I'm good.
Okay.
I did the audition for her. She looks up from the paper. She goes, thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Wow.
I went, excuse me?
No, you didn't.
I didn't say it out loud.
Excuse me?
Excuse me? But I walked out and I was like, I can't believe that just happened. Like, clearly, I did a great job. I mean, it's okay if you don't want me, but at least tell me I did good.
So did you feel like your ego was bruised?
It was bruised a bit.
Oh, wow.
Because Christy, you can't read her, and you know. But anyway, so then my agent calls me and he's like, hey, they want to see you again. And I'm like, really?
Right.
So I go in and it's, I skipped right from Christy, you know, which is a pre-read, and you're supposed to go to producers next. But the next thing I know, I walk in and, you know, producers and network is there.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, okay. It's only supposed to be a co-star, 5 episodes. You know, I'm like, this is a lot for 5 episodes. What's going on here? So, you know, I auditioned, and executive producer Brad Bell was really ecstatic and incredibly, you know, just, he was very complimentary of my work, and he was really excited and kind of asked me, like, where have you been? Why haven't I seen you? And told him about the missions, and I told him I took a year off to do it, and now, you know, I've been kind of working in Skid Row. And he was like, really?
Wow.
And I was like, yeah. He goes, interesting. Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you. Yeah. Cool. All right, cool. I was like, okay.
So did you leave with that feeling again?
I was like, what the heck just happened?
Okay, these people are kind of okay. That's how they do.
This is how it goes,
right?
And so I think about the next day, that afternoon, my agent calls me and he's like, hey, so we have an offer. I'm like, really?
Wow.
He's like, yeah, they loved you, and he was like, I don't know if they're planning on 5 episodes, but they want to bring you in to test. And I was like, okay. So the test ended up being me in like full homeless makeup and like Daisy garb that you saw the first couple episodes.
Right.
There was no chemistry testing with anyone else, which is usually what happens when they sign someone.
Right.
Or, you know, think recurring or contract.
Right.
And so, you know, the producers were in the room again, and they were like, tell us more about Skid Row. Tell us more. And
because they're writing. Right.
And so I proceeded to kind of tell them my experience and what it's been like. And they were like, well, and then the executive producer looks at me and goes, where do you see this? Where would you see this kind of character going? And I was like, I mean, in my mind, I'm a poor actor. So I'm going to give you like 10 years worth of a storyline if you ask me that.
Right.
I'm going to keep myself on this show.
And I get pregnant by the lead and his son. Yes.
No, but I think I played it pretty cool. I was like, well, I really see her like having her life changed, and maybe, you know, because she changed, you know, Stephanie's life. Stephanie, it changes hers. And he was like, yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, wow. Was this just coming off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head.
Oh, my goodness. Now, did you know about The Bold and Beautiful prior to this show?
Yeah.
Okay, now did you watch it?
I watched it at one point when I was younger with my mom.
Right. So you were familiar. It didn't change that much.
It didn't change. And I was younger, so I didn't really, you know,
grab it.
I didn't really, you know, soak in all the characters and storylines, but everything was pretty familiar when I saw faces. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, they still here? Dang. It's about 40 years later?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So you go in there, you make this up off the top of your head when they ask you, and then you're just talking, not thinking that.
I'm just talking, and Brad's, you know, the executive producer, he's bouncing ideas off, and, you know, he's coming up with a lot of great stuff about, you know, this girl, you know, being like the Mother Teresa of Skid Row, and I was like, that's interesting. And, you know, the next thing I know, she goes from being this kind of, you know, vague, maybe like living on the streets, you know, getting ready to, you know, prostitute herself kind of girl to this other completely different character, which was really refreshing. And I think they did such a good job of creating that.
And you had a strong, and that's great. I know I was reading about, they compared you a little bit to Drusilla with Victoria Rattle. And I love myself some Drew. You know, you know, they got forums and everything out right now wanting her to come back, and I think that is amazing because it was something about her and her work, and for you to have that, and you know, and she brung that to the Young and the Restless, and so for you to be able to even be in that position to bring that, and you have the ability to bring that, and my mom always told me, start out how you can hold out. You started out helping co-write and give ideas. Well, not really co-writing, but giving your experience, which was able to, you know, and
inspire.
So you can be authentic, you know what I'm saying, and believable to your character, and that is amazing. And she had to twerk her own lines too in hers. She said, you know, for 14 years, she had to get the script and make it work because they didn't write it make it work. So they allowed her to make it work, and she was able to be nominated for Emmys because she went in and made it work for her type of character, to give it the class and the elegance and things that it needed. And so I definitely think that is pretty cool. So through this whole experience, and not the Bold and the Beautiful experience, Who has taken you under their wings? If you can think about one or two people that come to mind that really you feel have taken you under their experience, you know, under their wing for this experience, who would it be?
Definitely Susan Flannery.
Okay, which plays
Stephanie.
Stephanie, and explain why.
Susan, I mean, within the first, because all of my stuff was with her.
Right.
I was with her for the first 2 months of work.
And that's a veteran.
And that's a vet, man. She is a vet.
Yeah.
In the sense of like she knows her stuff.
Right.
And
She's the lady.
she is the lady of the show. She's,
Yes.
You know, we call her the head honcho, the head horse. you
Yes.
know? And so Susan, there were so many times that she, you know, there was one time she could tell I didn't like a take. Like we did a take and she could tell I wasn't happy. And she goes, "You didn't like that?" I was like, "No." She goes, "Well, say something."
Right.
I was like, "Oh, okay." She was like, "Yeah." She was like, she looks at me and she goes, "Look, this is your work. You make it good." You know, so
What?
I was like, okay.
That is what's up.
I would like another take, please.
Can we do that again, one more again, please? Just one more. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is your work. And if you put that out there, they're not going to say it's them.
No.
They're going to say it's you.
It's me.
And then they're going to find another person to take your place and say, well,
Exactly.
she's the next something. But
Yeah.
you do that. And I just love that you started off with the best.
Yeah, I did. And it was just great working with her. There were times when I think she's only given me one line reading, but it was brilliant. I was like, oh, yeah, and I can still remember it was from one of the first 5 episodes. And we're talking about being poor. And she says something about how, you know, you make what you can of it. Or don't you want to be more than this? And I was like, why would you say that? And I wasn't saying the line like that when we were rehearsing it.
Right.
And she's like, no, say it like this. And I said it and she goes, see? And I was like, oh yeah.
Wow.
It just created this more like, it just created a fighter in
Made
Daisy.
it real.
It made it real. It made it really real. Like, you know, it wasn't a reading. It was like a series. Like, why would you say that? I don't know. I can't even redo it right now.
So let me ask you this, because this is what a lot of folks want to know. Now, you're known, you know, I mean, people know you from things that you do, and then you get on this hit show. Now you're on there. You're in LA. You're everywhere. Everybody knows you. You're on TV every day. I mean, you're a hit show. 20+ million people tune in and watch Right After Young and Restless, Bold and the Beautiful is right connected. The families intertwined constantly. What did that do when you started seeing your face in places and people noticing you? And how was that for you?
I mean, I think I didn't come at such a huge volume, which I think is good, you know, because soaps are popular here and they're extremely popular overseas.
Right.
Which is, you know, which is awesome. So when people started recognizing me, I forgot I was on TV. And so I remember one day I came home and I was so mad. And my mom was like, "Why are you mad?" I was like, you know, people were just giving me side eye. I was like, people were staring at me, and it's like, what? I actually looked at someone. I go, "Mom, I looked at this person. I looked at them, and I went, what?" She goes, "Crystalyn." I go, "What?" She goes, "You're on TV." I go, "Oh my God, you're so right."
Was that an aha moment?
It was an aha that I literally, it was the most bizarre day. For some reason, I completely blanked on the fact that.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Completely, thank you for that.
That was the aha moment.
I like blanked the fact that I was being seen by people, and I was so offended at being looked at because I thought something was wrong. I was like, is it because I'm black? Like, you know, you go straight to it. You're like, why are you staring at me? And my mom was like, stop. She was like,
your mom's like, girl, you are stop.
She's like, "Be on TV." I was like, oh
every day.
Yeah.
Wow. And so now that it's been, because you got on the show back in last year, December?
What year is this? 2012.
2012.
I got on in 2010.
2010, right. We are in 2012.
Yeah.
2010, it snuck up on us. It's March.
Yeah.
Wow.
End of 2010, I was on the show.
Wow. December, right? Was it like this?
Well, I started shooting in September, so I stared airing in October.
Okay. So you started airing in October. And so it's been about going on almost a year and some change now. How is life for you? Other than, I know you're in a weekly show every Sunday for this month.
Yeah.
How has life been for you now? Now that people know who you are and they're knowing your names, are people knocking at your doors? Is it what people expect? Are other opportunities like ringing and coming? Because I've heard who was Octavius talk about when the Oscar nomination stuff came, they didn't hear other people coming and knocking. You know what I'm saying, at the doors. You know what I'm saying, the way, or if it was the same type of stuff. Even Oprah said it like, oh, I'm gonna go with my mama to Mississippi, or whatever. So how has that been for you?
I think the only way I can describe it is just transformation. Like, it's a slow process for certain actors. Maybe it is based on the skin color, maybe it is based on the gender, but I booked the show and there was bites here and there because people started knowing who I was. Casting directors and other agents would recognize me on the street and encourage me a lot. And the fact that I was, they're like, we see a lot of good stuff in you. But I mean, other than that, it was like, you hear that? You hear that? You hear that? That was silence.
Right.
Which is fine. Like, I do not despise humble beginnings.
I know that's right.
All. I do not despise them. And I really appreciate the fact that, I have an agency that doesn't need that in order to feel like they have, done the right thing in signing me on, or, you know what I mean? And I have family out here who are in the business. One of them's a publicist, and she helps me out. And
okay, so, that's good.
Yeah, it's really it's for me. It's just been a slow process, which is great, and I've gotten to really adapt to having a pretty steady daytime job, which not many people have out here as an actor. And the idea of like having a life that's completely different from everybody else. Like, I can literally wake up on Monday morning and know that I'm not going into work until next Wednesday.
Right.
So how do I adapt? How do I keep myself busy and still like, be of service to society without, just becoming narcissistic and self-involved?
Right.
That's right. So really quick, what we're going to do, and you're absolutely right, we're going to take you into an AfterBuzz TV commercial really fast, and when we come back, we're going to just ask Mrs. Lloyd just a couple of questions. We're going to take a couple calls also that may come in. I don't know if anything's coming in right now, but we definitely have emails, Twitter calls, anything that comes in. We'll definitely be taking you after the commercial plug at 424-256-1729. That again, that's 424-256-1729. I'm your host, Brookshire. We are still here on the Young and the Restless Soaps special edition with Kristolyn Lloyd from Bold and the Beautiful, everyone. And we'll be right back on AfterBuzzTV.com.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
What do you want to buzz about? And so we are so back, and we are still here on the YNR Soaps special edition with Kristolyn Lloyd from the Bold and the Beautiful, everybody. We are here with Kristolyn Lloyd from the Bold and the Beautiful. So I'm going to go straight into with you before we wrap up soon, not now, but soon, because we got a little bit more to go. So I want to know really fast, what is it that you would want to give back to the young people? There's so many people that are actresses out here that want to see acting as a daytime gig. They are hustling. Some of them made it, some of them didn't make it. For the ones that failed, that still have that want to come back, what is something that you would want to give to them to say, in your opinion, from your experience?
I would want to give them and encourage them to be patient. I would really want to, because it's like, I remember getting out here and feeling the need to have like momentum and things happen like right away.
Right.
But if the things that have happened now had happened when I first got out here, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I just wouldn't have. And so I wasn't mentally prepared for it. I wasn't emotionally prepared for it. And I just feel like what's supposed to be yours is going to be yours, and it's going to come when it's supposed to come.
That's right.
And so I I would just want them to feel as though they don't have to make things happen.
Right.
They just rely on the fact that this is what they're meant to be doing.
Okay.
They're talented because, you know, they've been given the opportunities, and to just let it be. Like, just let go, let God. Like just trust that you're enough, and you don't have to, like, you know, you don't have to compromise to make it happen.
I definitely can dig that.
I think, can I give an opinion? I think that is so true. And, you know, Brookshire, of course, does the Oprah recap. And Oprah does say surrender. And I think when you do surrender, it's kind of similar to what you were saying. Let it be, and it'll shape up.
Yeah.
Brookshire opened the show saying you're making history. And you only did that by letting go, which is, I think, you know, very, very
good
cool.
Point.
So work it out, you.
Definitely good point. Good point. Good point. Definitely good point. So really quick also, who do you look up to? Who are your mentors? Who keeps you, if there's two people that you can put out there, who would you say?
Well, I've posted about her on my Facebook, but Viola Davis.
Wow.
I just appreciate, and I feel like what I wanted to do since I got out here was, and I put it on my website, www.KristolynLloyd.com.
Yes, and make sure we have that
www.KristolynLloyd at www.KristolynLloyd.com.
Okay, and we didn't make sure that we have that in place so we can put that on there. So tune into that. But you put it on your Facebook. I put
it on my Facebook, and it's on my website that my dream has always been to defy categories while defining one of my own, which is what Viola's done.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I feel like, especially for Black actresses, there were certain categories that we fit into.
Right.
And she didn't really fit into those categories. Like, she still doesn't, in my opinion, you know? And so there's something very outside of the box about her that I absolutely love.
Right.
And I just admire so much in her acting. She doesn't put on any pretenses. She doesn't try and make herself be something that other people are going to feel comfortable with.
Right.
And the roles that she's done. And I feel as though that's something I really appreciate and look up to.
I definitely can dig that. I can definitely dig that. And so now, do you see an Oscar, an Emmy, a Grammy, a Tony anywhere? Because I mean, you dance, you sing, you act. I mean, you do these things. I mean, you definitely have a presence. I can see you holding your own talk show one day. You know, like you know, I'm speaking that in because you have it, right? You definitely have the welcoming, like, come on to our show. Yes, girl. So, do you see this, and like, what do you see these things in your future?
Absolutely. I'm working on a project right now that is headed to New York. Headed to do some appearances at the Public Theater or, you know, Manhattan Theater Club. We have choices. And so I'm working with this project now. I've been kind of locked in with them, and I've created my own role in this musical, which is amazing. And so I dream of a Tony. I dream of doing Broadway. You know, everyone, my agents know it, which is one of the reasons I signed with them, because they're bi-coastal.
Right.
And so they see it. You know, they get excited when they see me do musicals out here. And I definitely see Oscars and Emmys definitely in the future, because I love being an actor.
Right.
But, you know, I've always said, you know, when I got back from missions, if, you know, heaven forbid, but I did surrender. I said, God, if you never want me to act another day in my life, I won't do it. Like, I want to do what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't want to force anything.
Okay.
And so I literally was sitting in my house, and I surrendered it up, and I gave it up, and I said, I'm going to go back to LA. But if it all falls apart and I'm supposed to be somewhere else, I won't fret. I'll just go with the flow. And ever since then, it's like I just grew more of a love for people and missions and, you know, social justice, but also with acting as well, because you just get to be somebody else, and it's so beautiful.
Yes, it is definitely a beautiful thing. And
your life has a different varieties to it, and you always go back to that spiritual point, and that you're going to be just fine.
Yes,
I hope I'll be around to see all of that.
Yes, Granny Z, you will be. You can cool believe that, cuz you sure will. Now, I know there was a couple things that I know I told you to send me just for some of your favorite things, and you know, and I love, you know, being that type of person that, you know, it puts on my heart to make sure that I'm a part of. I know you said you love like popcorn, and there's certain things that, you know, that you love to be a part of. And so what we like to do, what I personally like to do here on the, you know, Young and the Restless recap show and the Soaps edition, and also on OWN in general, was present things, because from our behalf, saying we appreciate you and what you're doing, and we appreciate you being a part of history as well. So I would like to present a gift.
Thank you. Oh, this is so sweet.
And I would love for you to pull us the things out the bag and show your audience.
Oh, this is so cute. This is so me.
Yes.
Anything pink and green. Look at that. That is so cute.
It looked like Daisy, so I was like, you know what? I think that would be so cute for you. It was like, I think, you know, I want to do things that worked for you and reminded me of you. Now, that is from Hard 8. It is one of their stunted shirts. It is an amazing shirt, and you can hold it up. It's going to be perfect for you.
Talk to my agent. Yes, honey. Yes. Talk to my
Real
agent.
Saborsky. Crystal's in it. And I was like, we got to get her some of that work. And I thought that color would look amazing on your skin tone.
Thank you.
Definitely. Now, this is my personal massage. Oh, well, let you read it open. I done told you. Hey, look at you. I'm more excited for you to open your gifts than I am for you to open them. Right? Yes. I believe that you should be treated as a queen. You work hard. Yay. Definitely. So from me to you, this is my personal massage therapist. Antoine is amazing, amazing, amazing. He is here. You can go into the actual spot, or he can do a house call. He is mobile. So you call him up, let him know Brookshire sent you. He would take care of you. Everything is on the house.
This is going to be perfect. I've been in the gym
Yes,
training.
and I know how that is. Definitely, definitely, definitely. And this right here is what I want to show you is this unlimited powers, because what we're introducing now, and I want to be a big advocate of, was audiobooks. And I give props to and praise to Oprah for introducing Oprah's book club. But I do believe also, however, I believe faith comes by hearing. You know, whatever that is. And audiobooks is the new wave. So many people are on the go. And so if they can get the right information as they're moving, then that one word can actually change their life or give them that connection. So unlimited power is going to be the book of the month when we present it on our audio book club, you know, of the monthly. So you have it ahead of time. That is yours from Tony Robbins, and it is amazing, amazing, amazing. It is those PowerPoints that will change and mold you and do so much from what you've already said. So I want you to have that personally from me to you and from the AfterBuzz family.
Yay. Oh, this is great.
And of course, Trader Joe's in the house, the best popcorn in the world. Kettle corn. Oh my MG. If nobody has had the Trader Joe's kettle corn, you have to go to Trader Joe's. Now this is free Trader Joe's. Okay? You
Isn't Brooks nice to get you all those gifts and get me all those gifts too? Oh, what? I'm not getting those gifts too?
Oh, Roddy, I got you, brother.
We could share. We could share some kettle corn.
So yes, definitely, this is from us to you, that we appreciate you, and to continue, like Oprah says, to run on and see what the end will be. So as we get into the mix, I just want another question. If there's one thing that you know for sure, if there's one thing that you know for sure through this experience, what will it be? If there's one thing you know for sure about this.
It's going to be so cheesy. But I think, you know, I don't know how to. Okay, I'm just going to say it. The one thing I know for sure is that I'm loved.
Yes.
Like, that was huge for me, because I think, and especially by God, you know, and I think growing up, you just develop this weird perspective of who God is, and you forget that He is love.
Yes.
And you feel this religious mentality of like, I have to please, I have to do right. And God's like, I love you as you are.
That's not cheesy.
Okay.
That's what we do. That's what we do here.
Yeah. And so I look back and I think about, ever since I moved to LA until now, if I told 12-year-old Kristolyn, the girl who had bad skin and who was chubby, and who a boy told her, you know, she was ugly and he'd never date her.
No. Where yet? Where yet? Like Medea, 5 o'clock. I see you at 5 o'clock.
But I just think about her and I'm like, if I were to tell her all the things she would do, she would probably cry and just be in unbelief, because I think through this whole process, it's just shown me like how incredibly loved I am, because I think a lot of times I just forget, you know, and I feel that frustration of not feeling like I'm, you know, that I'm looked after, but it's like, clearly I am. Clearly I'm being looked out for.
You have somebody that got your back.
Stay focused and know God is the head of your life.
Yes. Definitely.
Acknowledge Him, and everything will be directed towards you in the right way that you want it to be.
Yes.
And be patient.
Yes.
It always takes time.
That's 70+ years of wisdom coming on. Take it. Receive on that right there, because it's got love all wrapped up and sprinkled in it for sure. And everybody, that has been an amazing, amazing, amazing show. I'm telling you, we are so thankful to have you in the house with us.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad that we are able to help tell your story.
Thanks.
The way that we've been able to do it. It's been so much fun. Now, we want you to make sure that you look at that, listen to the audiobook. We want to bring you back back on and to get your experience.
I love it.
On the club, because we're going to be introducing it today, and then we're going to be talking about it at the end of the month. So we can put you back in here to come co-host with us and talk about the book, or call in, tell us what you think from it and what you could have learned. That would be super duper awesome.
I love it. I'll definitely.
Now, Twitter. You want to shout out your Twitter really quick?
Yes. You can see me, tweet me, follow me at Kristolyn Lloyd on Twitter.
Kristolyn Lloyd on Twitter.
And then Kristolyn Lloyd on Facebook. You can like that page.
Yes.
Or you can get me at www.krystalynlloyd.com.
www.krystalynlloyd.com. And everybody, you've heard it here. Granny Z, we thank you so much for coming in on another day and spreading your love and wisdom.
Thanks for having me.
I love you so much out there in Chicago, and stay bundled up. Ronnie, we definitely appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, Ronnie.
Thank you so much. And everybody, you know what? Where the mind goes, like we always say on every show, the body will follow. Keep your mind right, your body tight. Remember, you are someone. You are someone. Until the next time, we are the Young and the Restless. Definitely Soaps special edition here with Kristolyn Lloyd from Bold and the Beautiful. Keep your eyes posted, because we're going to have some amazing people from Soaps in general coming on. So stay tuned. I am your host, Brookshire, and I love you. Continue to make sure that you are commenting, people. Make sure that you are commenting on the show. So we love that you are definitely making us in the top 10 downloads. So we want to make sure that you leave those comments. If you like what you're hearing here on the AfterBuzz station, Young and the Restless, or even on, comment, leave your comments. We want to know what you think, as well as you calling in. We appreciate that. And Bing, we love you. And Maria, we love you. Everybody, stay tuned. Keep your mind right, your body tight. This is Brooks for another Young and the Restless edition. Peace.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.